Hey guys, Felicia here. Before we start the show, I want you to do me a quick favor. Can you hit that like button? Can you hit that subscribe button? Can you leave me a written review? If you've been listening to this show, you love this show. If you've had a coaching session with me and you rocking with me and this show has helped you, please let the people know. Please write a review. This helps other people know about the show. Also, go share this with somebody. Don't keep all this goodness to yourself. Because I'm telling you, like even in today's episode, gems are about to be dropped. Don't hoard the gems. Share. The more gems you share, the more gems you'll get. It's the law of the universe. Okay? All right. Now let's start the show. Welcome to the Trill MBA Show. I'm your host, Felicia Ann-Rose Anuha, aka the Trillest MBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad that you came back to join me this week because last week we talked about networking. And so today I want to dig a little deeper and I want to talk about building relationships as it pertains to mentors and sponsors. And so today we're going to dive in on mentorship and sponsorship. So now that you should be feeling good about this idea of networking and getting out there and putting yourself out there to meet people and converse with people. And, you know, from our poor introverts, just spend all your little energy and then go retreat home to recharge. I really want us to take away some actionable things that we need to do to really work on our relationship building and getting those key relationships in place so that you can fuel and propel your career, not only in the company that you're at now, but this will also help you in the future as you grow your career, maybe outside of the company that you're at currently. And know that most likely you're going to leave at some point. I mean, maybe you will be groomed for greatness and the greatness you're trying to get to. But nowadays, most of your development comes from moving around. Most of your money will come from moving around. And so we really have to think through tactically what are the things that we need to be doing to make sure that we are building great relationships, i.e. a great network to help propel our career as we go. So in this first segment, I want to talk about the essentials. Mentors versus sponsors. I think there is some confusion around the two. So I just want to take a few minutes and make sure we're all level set and we're all on the same page about what a mentor is and what a sponsor is. So now, from a historical perspective, which I don't have much of, in the corporate world, mentorship, apprenticeship, this concept goes back to far long ago, before any of us were thought of, or our parents or our grandparents were thought of. So we're talking about a relationship with a person that is teaching you. They're guiding you. That's their job. I think the hardest thing about a mentor is not just determining who should be your mentor. That can be hard, especially in an organization where you feel like you're not connecting with people in the organization. But the hardest thing about a mentor is what I've found in my career is their perspective. Because what's hard for most people, and it's a very human thing, guys, when you have a particular perspective about something, you then put that perspective on the people you work with, especially if you're a mentor. So think about it like this. If you have a mentor that says, you can't be the CEO of this company, are you crazy? Why would you want to do that? You have to take a step back. It's not that you can't be the CEO of that company. And this is after you've expressed, I want to be the CEO of this company. It's that they don't believe they can be the CEO, or they believe they don't want to be the CEO of that company. And this is what's hard about mentorship, because I think a lot of times we look to our mentors to give us solid foundational guidance. But we have to be aware that with good intentions comes bad advice sometimes. So the intentions are good and they do care, but the advice may not work for you. And this is where you have to lean into your own intuition and gut. And this is where you build a psychological safety with your mentors so you can have these real conversations. So understand, a mentor is somebody who is there to give you advice, who is there to be a listening ear, who is there to be a safe space for you. So one of the other things where we make mistakes about mentorship is that we pick people who are in sponsor positions and try to make them our mentors, but they have sponsorship power. And so you want to be very particular about who your mentors are. Your mentors need to have the juice. So they need to be people who are moving in the organization. They need to be people who get things done in the organization, people who have a great narrative that's running rampant in the organization. People have nothing but great things to say about them. They pretty much can do no wrong. You know who is sponsoring them in the organization. So pick a person where it is known, like, even if it's not like on paper or said, like, you clearly know this person is being sponsored, they get promoted, they're fast-tracked. Those are the people before they get to the C-suite, or even the VP levels before the C-suite, or the president level before the C-suite. Those are the people that you want them to mentor you according to where you are in relation to them. You don't want them to have the ultimate sponsorship power just yet, but you know they're being groomed for it. Those are great mentors. And the type of relationship you're going to build with them is I can come in here, I can say the crazy things. You won't hold that against me. You won't have this memory that I'm crazy. You will give me information because you're in the rooms and you can help develop me and you are a safe space for me. Now, I understand this is ideal and I want to be perfectly and completely clear, transparent, and honest with you. This relationship is very difficult for us to build. Hell, it's difficult for everybody. Let's be very clear. But when it comes to us, it's more difficult because typically in these organizations that are predominantly white, this person most likely is not going to be a person of color. And so this calls for you, if you are a person of color, to get out of your comfort zone and have trust.
I don't know about that.
This relationship has to be a relationship built on trust.
I don't know about that.
Because if it's not, you can't get the information you need. You can't get the development you need. This person won't be the best mentor for you in the organization.
I don't know about that.
Now, Felicia, how are we supposed to trust these folks? Well, this is where you have to trust yourself.
What?
You really have to trust yourself, because without these type of mentor relationships, it will be very difficult to climb the ladder and get promoted in the organization you're in. So you're going to have to play the game. You're going to have to use this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, in order to help you build a real relationship with this person. And this person will mentor you. And even when you leave the company, this person will mentor you, because most likely you're going to leave the company and stay in the same industry, and you can continue to information share. These are the type of relationships that will carry you through layoffs, that will carry you through being fired, terminated, being on a PIP. And we've talked about being on PIPs, right? These relationships will help you continue to grow your career at the rate that you want to grow your career. These are the people that you need to be building relationships with and building your network with. Now, the beautiful thing about these people is they're also growing their career. They're also movers and shakers in their own right. And so eventually they turn into sponsors. Now, let's talk about what a sponsor is and what a sponsor isn't. A sponsor may look like a mentor, but they are not mentors. Sponsorship activities and mentor activities are not the same. What's the difference, Felicia? Well, I'm about to tell you. So, sponsorship activities are, I'm in the room and there's a special project, special assignment that someone on my team needs to do. It's high visibility. I need somebody I know is going to kill it and I trust. And I've been watching you. You may or may not know I've been watching you. Most likely you don't know I'm watching you, but I've been watching you and I've been impressed. And so I am going to set up a meeting with you, or I might even have your boss set up the meeting with you. And mind you, I might be your boss's 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 boss, right? Or I might just be your boss's boss. It's just according on how your company is structured. But if I'm the sponsor, I'm not telling you, I'm not coming to your desk and be like, hey, I'm going to sponsor you and I'm going to make sure you rise in this organization. You're going to be my little protege and I see all the potential in you. No, that's not how that works. In fact, most times you don't even know who's sponsoring you. You just know that you got another promotion and wow, it's only been a year and you're doing dope shit. And that's great. But understand, I don't want you blindly thinking that you're just doing dope shit and your work is speaking for itself. No, honey, there's somebody in a room somewhere and they had a conversation about you, probably had several conversations about you, some with your manager, some without your manager. And they deemed you the one or one of two or one of three. And you are propelling. That is why, please don't get confused and think that your work is why you're doing so well at this company because you're likable and you're nice. No, somebody picked you. You got picked. You have a sponsor. Somebody's sponsoring you. So now, how do you get a sponsor? You don't. Sponsors pick you. That is the biggest difference. You pick your mentors. You ask people to mentor you all day long. You pick them. You build that relationship. You cultivate it, all the things. A sponsor, you attract sponsors. How do you attract sponsors? Through your work. One, work has to be on point. But two, it's you showing executive presence. I know we hate that, right? That has been used against us so many times. But let me tell you what executive presence is. Executive presence is understanding the company's culture and showing up in a way that will connote to them you are ready for leadership. And in every company and every culture that's different, you have to show up in a different way. It might not be a vastly different way, but it's a different way. You have to look like you belong in the executive ranks. You have to look like you belong in leadership as you carry yourself. So you carry yourself that way. So it's not just in the way you dress, because there are some company cultures Everybody wears jeans and t-shirts, or jeans and, the company logo t-shirt or what have you. And then if you come in a suit every day, that's not executive presence. Why? Because you didn't read the room. Everybody got jeans and t-shirt on. You look like you are not being a team player, right? So it is how you master the art of understanding the organization and workplace and the landscape. It's you studying your chessboard and then you moving in a way that shows you are a chess master. That's executive presence. And that's what you want to demonstrate in the organization. And that's how you attract a sponsor or several sponsors. So with sponsors, you should think of them as the backstage crew. They're the ones that are making sure you get the right assignments, that you're in the spotlight during the big moments. They advocate for you because they believe in you. They believe in your potential and they are pushing your success. If you're lucky, you'll know who that is. A lot of times I hear a lot of people, they don't know. But you know for sure you have sponsors in the building because you're getting promoted. That's how you know you have sponsors. So you need both mentors and sponsors. Okay. So having mentors is great. I think Black people might be mentorshipped out. We do need sponsors. Unfortunately, we can't pick sponsors. But what I like to do is I like to be strategic about my mentors, because if you have a mentor and that mentor doesn't have sponsorship, that mentor can't do much for you. Why? Because that mentor is not getting the information you need to grow in the organization. That person doesn't have a voice in the room because they don't have a sponsor making sure they have a voice in the room. So again, you want to look for the people who are on the move, on the rise, doing big things. And you want to mirror them. You want to resonate with them. You want to fit in with them. Everybody else, the rest of the herd, don't worry about them so much. Be kind, be gentle, be nice, be helpful, be loving. Be all the good things of a good natural born leader, the natural born leader that you are. But focus. When you are looking at the time you are going to dedicate to focus on building relationships, you want to be very particular about where you spend that time and how you spend that time, because you don't have a lot of time, because you got to make sure you get your work done, and you got to make sure you do your extra credit stuff. And then you got to make sure, you're shaking hands and kissing babies and going to the things at the job. So what that means for you is there's only 2 or 3 people you need as mentors. And then you need to help figure out how to get the shine, the light, the exposure to attract your sponsors. I hope that all makes sense. So mentors, you have to build a relationship. You identify them. You build a relationship. Sponsors, you want to attract sponsors. So you got to get yourself workplace pretty. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk through, now that we've level set what that is, we're going to talk about, okay, how exactly do we do this networking to get these relationships popping in the organization when we come back from the break. Hey there, travel enthusiasts. Are you tired of struggling to find hair and skincare products that cater to your unique needs while on the go? Look no further than blacktravelbox.com. Black Travel Box is your one-stop shop for travel-sized natural hair and skincare products, specifically curated for Black travelers. No more settling for generic products that don't work for your hair type or skin tone. Whether you're jet setting to a tropical island or embarking on a cross-country road trip, Black Travel Box has you covered with their convenient and TSA-approved travel kit. Plus, by supporting Black Travel Box, you're not just getting high quality products, but you're also supporting a Black-owned business that is dedicated to promoting inclusivity in the travel industry. So, travel in confidence, style, and grace with Black Travel Box. Visit blacktravelbox.com now and get ready to slay your next trip. Don't let your beauty routine suffer while you explore the world. And hey guys, let me tell you, Black Travel Box products are amazing, especially that body butter. Listen, I got a promo code for you. Use the code JETSET. That's JETSET, all caps, JETSET. And you can get a discount from Black Travel Box because of who? The Trillis MBA. Happy travels, beautiful people. Now, let's get back to the show. All right, corporate warriors, we are back. In the last segment, we talked about mentors versus sponsors, and we level set it on that. So now that we've level set it on that, and you know that there's a distinct difference, and you know that you need to pay attention in the organization to engage your environment for those potential allies that align with you and that you can start building relationships with. So we talked about that. Now we're going to talk about mastering the corporate networking landscape. Okay?
Okay.
And I want you to really think through all the fears you have to let them go. All the things, all the myths that, the networking has to be done at the corporate function. Because, we don't like the corporate function. Let's just be honest about it. Because, Susan gonna bring that, whatever that thing is that smells funny to the potluck. And dear God, Jesus, why do we have to do this? And half these people I don't like. But we're gonna put our big girl panties on. So it's not about the corporate gala or the happy hours and must go to those things. It's not just that. Still show your face because, again, that just shows you're a team player. But when you want to make genuine connections, it's typically in those moments where you are in a one-on-one meeting at the beginning of the meeting or the end of the meeting. Yes, I know that small talk shit. That stuff. That's when you can make genuine connections. And if you work remote, it can be on Teams. You got to put in more effort to have coffee chats with people. When you start talking about, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Like, don't start to feel that thing like, oh my God, they asking me about my personal life. Have your canned answer. We've talked about this. Oh, this weekend, my mom passed, so I went and put flowers on her grave. Now, listen, that sounds personal. Everybody knows my mom is dead. You can Google that and find that out. I tell people all the time, Google yourself. Find the things that are already out there. Tell those stories. Because they're already on the internet. What you gonna do? You gonna hire Beyonce's PR people to scrape the internet for you? No, you can't afford that. So use what you got to get what you want. Okay? But really and truly, it really is about finding those personable commonalities with people. You want to get the people you are trying to network with to see you as human, to relate to you on a human level. You want them to leave you feeling like, oh, she's different. Even if it's a Black person, I still want them to leave me feeling like, oh, she's different. Because I am. But in a good way, right? And you want them to feel seen. You want them to feel heard. And you want to bring positive vibes. You want to be a professional good time. And that's where you can find those moments to connect in a way that allows for you to start to build trust, especially in those mentor relationships. That's going to be key. One thing I find that's very beneficial is breaking bread. sharing a meal with somebody is something we take for granted, and it doesn't seem very intimate unless we have an intimate relationship with that person. But it's something that is very intimate. Breaking bread with people is very communal. It feels very familial. Use those moments and make sure you're asking them about themselves, right? You want to make that connection. And the other thing you need to remember as you're working through, okay, how do I connect with these people? How do I connect with these people? Let go of these people. Let go of it's work. Let go of that. Be curious. Be like, I don't know much about Susan. Let me ask her, hey, Susan, how's your day going? What projects are you working on? I'm working on this project. Did you do this before? Like, what's your opinion? It starts there, just very small things. And every interaction is potential to build more goodwill with this person that you've identified as somebody you want to make this connection with, that you might want to be your mentor. And so make sure you have a purpose. And you know that you want this person to be your mentor. But before you just go right in there and say, you know what, I really like what you do. Will you be my mentor? No, it's like dating, guys. You don't just go up to a guy you see and be like, oh, you look cute. Will you be my boyfriend? That's not how that works. First, it's like, oh, he's cute. Let me find out more about him, right? Or, oh, she's cute. Let me find out more about her. Or, oh, they're cute. Let me find out more about them, right? Same thing with your mentor. Oh, they're doing dope shit. Let me find out more about them. They might be a good mentor for me, but let me find out, because you might be running in asking this person to be your mentor and they might be a complete asshole and the most horrible mentor ever. Like, don't set yourself up for the okie doke. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about some etiquette as we're working to network at work and build relationships. So one thing you really want to pay attention to, again, it goes back to what is the landscape of your company's culture, right? But then there are just basic human things too that you need to pay attention to. So your intention is networking, right? Like, you have this plan, you downloaded the networking plan, you've got these people in mind you want to network with, and now you're like executing. And you know that, but they don't know that, right? So don't treat them like a robot. Again, networking is about building human interactions. So what that means is you have to be human and you have to treat that person with humanity. So a warm greeting, an attentive ear, and being present in the conversation, remembering details. Like if they share, oh, my daughter's birthday is this weekend. Oh, what's your daughter's name? Oh, her name is Cindy. Oh, cool. Well, tell Cindy I said happy birthday. And then go put that in your calendar. Hey, today is Cynthia's daughter Cindy's birthday. So next year, when it rolls around, you don't have to buy anything. You just have to say, hey, your daughter's birthday is coming up. Tell her it's a happy birthday. And they'll be like, oh, fucking shit. What? And if that isn't the biggest, I feel seen, I feel heard, you remembered, people naturally draw a connection between remembering something about them and caring about them. I can tell you right now, those two things really, there is no correlation. How many times have you forgotten your best friend's birthday and forgot to call them? How many times have you forgotten your parents' birthday or your siblings' birthday? Especially as you get older and you get busy and you don't mean to forget, but shit, life's happening. We forget shit all the time. Doesn't mean we don't care. But conversely, I can remember things. I can put things in my calendar. There's no indication how much I care. But because we're human. Oh my gosh, you remember my brother? Oh my God, wow. And it builds goodwill. And then this person is just so amazing. You are so amazing. You remembered that. Oh my God. And I have heard countless times people raving about some person in the office because this person remembers everything about everybody. Child, that's called finesse. And now that you know, don't give them up. Just pay attention and smile. But here's the thing you want to understand, even after the basics. You want to have meaningful conversations with people. Nobody really likes small talk. Even if people are good at small talk, like me, for instance, I could sit here and I can talk about the weather. I can talk about blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah all day long. I think the difference, though, it doesn't bother me because very shortly, I'm going to be nosy and ask you a real question. And then you may give me a real answer. You may not. I don't know. But I'm going to quickly show you that I'm really about the substance of life and not about the weather. The weather's going to change, but who are you? Because most likely you're not going to change much. That's what you want to be focused on, is getting deeper than, oh, hey, how's it going, Bob? Good. How's that project? Oh, that's great. You didn't even hear what Bob said. You're just going through motions. That's not going to get you where you're trying to go. The point is, you need to not focus on yourself so much and focus on gathering information. Information is powerful. Building connections with people, meaningful conversation, is all about information gathering and being honestly and deeply, truly curious about the other people around you. And if you can get your perspective there, you'll change the game for yourself immediately. And if it doesn't, hit me up. All right, so listen. You've identified a potential mentor, right? Okay, great. How do you initiate the all-important first conversation? You gotta prepare. So if you can learn things about them prior to, first interacting with them, understanding what they may be interested in, that will help you cut the small talk and get to more meaningful dialogue. And the quicker you do that, the better, because that person will take a vested interest in you quickly. There's always common ground you can start with. We're human beings. We all have families. We all were born from somebody. We all have shit in life we deal with. Those are all common ground things that we can connect on, and it doesn't have to be a complaint. So that's the other thing. Don't build relationships on mutual dislike of something, i.e. your job, or i.e. the CEO, or i.e. anything at work, right? I think the only good dislike to build a mutual relationship on is like sports. So there's going to be a lot of people who bond over the fact that they hate the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't know what's wrong with you people. It's America's team. I stand by that as a proud Texan. And if you disagree with me, oh well, go bond with the other people that disagree with me on that. Bonding about sports teams is always a good time because everybody knows it's not that serious, but it is. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not. And it's fun. So if you bond over your hatred of the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't know why you would do that, but this is my example, that's fine. But bonding over hatred of real things, don't do that. You want to bond over positive things. And then you want to be consistent. Again, it's like dating. So be consistent in your interactions. Ask that person to coffee. So you go to coffee, you have a good interaction, you like that person, you want to know more. You share information, good inside information. You're building trust and rapport, right? Then you say, hey, I'm going to put coffees on the schedule for us for like once every month on like Wednesday around this time. Is that good for you? Yeah. Let's do it. And then you make sure you follow up. Make sure you do that thing. Because if you don't, oh my God, please, 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 please follow up. The point is, the biggest thing that you want to take away from this segment is that in order to master networking at work and the landscape at work, and to get you some good mentors that have juice in the organization, you have to shift your perspective on networking. You have to see every interaction as an opportunity to learn more about the people you work with and the people around you. It also helps you with the vetting process of figuring out who you want to be your mentors in the organization. And then at the end of the day, you need to be genuine, and you always want to prioritize quality over quantity in your connections. Like I said, you only need about 2 or 3 good mentors in the organization to really help you propel and help you attract a sponsor, right? And help you do all the things to attract a sponsor. Now, when we get back from this last break, we're going to talk about cultivating and initiating those relationships with your could-be sponsor when we get back from the break. Hey guys, it's Felicia. If you're watching this, guess what? You're part of our Patreon. Yay! Thanks for joining us. If you're listening to this and you're not watching me and all the bloopers and all the crazy that we got going on behind the scenes, you're missing some good stuff because I be messing up. But Chris fixes it. But what Maya doesn't do is she don't fix it. She just puts the video in the Patreon and you get to see all of this, everything, all the crazy things I say that don't make it onto this actual podcast. So please help us and support the show. We really don't have ads. You're like, well, what about that Black travel box? Listen, I support Black women. That's what we're doing. As a Black woman-owned business, y'all better go and get that good body butter for your travel case. God dang it. But no, real talk though. Please join the Patreon. We're working to make all good, great things. We're going to have more articles. We're going to have more tools and guides. We're going to have these videos, which is going to be pretty much the raw footage of this show. And you get to see all my crazy facial expressions and kind of some of the behind the scenes of how we make this show so dope when you listen to it in your car and things. So go to patreon.com/TrillNBA show and sign up for our Patreon. And we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. All right, let's go wrap up this show. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the show. My biggest intention for this episode is to really talk about you guys getting some good mentors and attracting sponsors. And you do that through your networking. You have to network in order to get these key relationships that help propel your career. So the last thing I'm going to talk about here is really getting to the meat and potatoes of building that sponsorship relationship. I'm telling you guys, this book, I can't say it enough, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book will help you master the art of connection and connecting with other humans that you feel like you have nothing in common with, which a lot of times the people you need to be your mentors are people you do not have a lot in common with. Or it feels that way or seems that way because of all these social constructs we have, like gender and race and all the things, all the boxes. When in actuality, we have a lot more in common than we don't, because at the end of the day, we all have to take shit. And that's just the facts, guys. So if you're not shitting, I'm gonna pray for you, because you should be. That's the healthiest thing for you. Okay. Now, before I let y'all out of here, I just want to say you want to focus on building these mentorship relationships. You have to get out of your own head. You have to find common ground. You also have to read the room, because some people aren't open to building relationships. And you can't let that discourage you. You just have to kind of keep going and finding those people. also you got to understand, a lot of times if you think that person would be a dope mentor, so does everybody else. And they're also trying to get in there with them too. So be conscious of that as well. But you want to, again, put yourself out there and then kind of see and check temperature. And it's a dance. You want to make sure you do that. The other thing you want to do with mentors, you definitely want to set boundaries. So, ladies, when you have identified a male mentor in your company, you have to be conscious and walk lines because you do need to build a safe space and you need to information share. But sometimes, men. So you just need to be cognizant and keep it professional, but personal and professional with some personal, but more professional than personal. Especially if that man is married, or if he's not married, like even that, because then the rumors start at work. So you don't want that either, right? But always keep it professional. Once you've established that this is my mentor, that person has agreed to be your mentor, you start seeding it to certain people in the organization. Yeah, Bob has been mentoring me and really helping me with some blind spots I've had. Yeah, Bob's been a great mentor for me in these past couple of months because I've been able to learn XYZ. So you want to start edifying Bob as your mentor. And this way, when people see you guys together, they see you guys having lunch or they see you guys, laughing it up, chucking it up at the happy hour, people be like, oh, that's our mentor, right? And so they'll just not make any assumptions, any loops, any jumps. They won't start any rumors. Just always make sure you drive your car, you handle yourself the way you need to handle yourself. Okay? Okay. And also make sure this is a two-way street relationship, right? Like think through how can you help this person, even though they're your mentor, they still work at the company. They still have projects. They still need help on things. They still need to hear other people's perspectives. You have a perspective and a point of view that they're not going to have based on where they are in the organization and based on where you are in the organization. So make sure the information sharing is going both ways. And again, that's why you have to build this trust because you have to be able to, let them know like, hey, now you ain't heard this from me, but Susan about to quit. And I think such and such might be a good person for that role. But I don't know if they're interested or not. And I know that that's pertinent information for you as you're the leader of that team. So let me know how I can help you. Like, be that confidant. Like, you are closer to where the sausage is being made than they are if you've picked this mentor correctly. So that information, the tea you get down here helps them up there. Now you're an asset to them. It's a win-win relationship. So you want to create that, right? And always at the end of the day, just be a good person, right? Like, don't use these relationships for evil. Don't manipulate situations where you don't need to. It's okay to put yourself first. You have to. You have to put your oxygen mask on first. But walk with the best intentions that you can and assume positive intent in others. Again, at the end of the day, it's not easy building relationships in general. And it's even harder to build relationships with people we work with. It's even harder to build relationships with these white dudes that be running everything. What I find is white dudes are afraid of us. Especially this day and age. Like, they don't want to say the wrong thing. So give them room to say the wrong thing to you and build that trust and that credibility. And yeah, they might say something real stupid. And you say, hey, permission to be honest. When they say something stupid, you say, do I have permission to be honest with you in this moment? And they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, we have to be honest with each other, Felicia. Well, Bob, what you said, some people might think that that's racist, But I just want you to know, I don't think you're racist. I think you're just a product, like I am, of the environments we were raised in and the country we live in. And so I'd love to have this conversation with you on why maybe what you meant to say was this. That'll go a long way. That might be the type of relationship building you might have to do, sis. Woosah. We gonna deep breath in. Hold it. Exhale. Sometimes you just gotta breathe through it, y'all. And stay focused. We're trying to get promoted. We're trying to get paid. And if we ain't getting promoted here, we're trying to set ourselves up to get promoted over there. So always got to be ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And one of the ways you stay ready is building your network and building these relationships. I know. But you can do this, and you might be surprised. Not everybody is big bad wolf. Some people are just that. People. And a lot of people are really good. So give them people a chance to get to know you, girl. All right, that's our show for today. Whew. Sometimes, guys, it just be one of them days. Hopefully, Chris will make this show upbeat and interactive sounding. Good. Woo. All right. If you need some help or advice about a specific work situation, like let's say you know 3 people you want to be your mentors, but you have no idea how to approach this situation or what to do, you can always go to trillandba.com/coaching to schedule a 45-minute consultation with me to strategize and walk through your specific work situation. So let's say you are trying to figure out your 3 mentors and how you should approach them and all that stuff. I can work with you to help you build your in-depth plan based on the personality and all the information gathering we would do about those 3 people. I'm happy to do that. You can sign up for time with me. We can do that. In addition, if you have a question, you can always email us at ask@trillandba.com. I'm happy to either answer your question or connect you to the right person if I don't have the answer. Again, that's trillandba.com/coaching to schedule a 45-minute consultation with me, or ask@trillandba.com to submit your question or concern. All right, guys, listen, I hope that you have a wonderful week and that life is just going good as we're coming to the last quarter of the year. We're getting close. Oh my God. Help me, Lord. It's going to be Christmas before we know it, and I don't like it. And then it'll be 2024. But you know what? We're going to stay present. We're going to stay right here this week. We're only going to focus on what we need to do this week, guys. Have a great week. Thank you for listening to the show, and we'll be back next week. Until next time, keep it Trill.
The Trill and BA Show is a Fair World Corp. LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Inuha. Sound design and editing by Chris Mann with Podshaper. Theme music is Kick Push by Ryan Little. Keep it Trill every day, y'all.